Hello, hello. It is I, Dani D. Dani tries a ting. This is my channel. What is up, fine folks? I hope you guys are holding it together. I hope you guys are holding it together because I feel like that is what I am just barely doing. But I'm coming to you today with a video because I just had my first markets, my first in-person markets. I didn't even think that I wanted to do a market. And then I signed up for two that just took place this last weekend. So I just wanted to share with you some of the lessons learned because there were a whole heap of lessons to be learned, okay? And I think I'll make another video, or I'll also talk about like some of the costs, some of the expenses, because let's talk money. I think money is also a really important factor. Actually, maybe I'll do that as a separate video. We'll see. Okay, so in terms of market, if you've been following me, you know that I started off in the digital product realm and I started selling paper dolls, stickers, patches, divots for Crocs, air fresheners. Literally, my life just went skirt. And anyways, there were these two Caribbean markets that were taking place this weekend that I thought would be an opportune time to go out there and see what's what, engage with an actual audience and engage with actual clients and see how they're actually receiving the things that I'm making. Lesson number 1, point of sale. Oh, it's so important to have some sort of point of sale mechanism so that you're able to accept things other than cash. I did purchase a Square reader. The problem was that I purchased it so quickly leading up to the markets that it wasn't completely set up. Therefore, it hadn't even validated my banking information in order for me to be able to receive payments. As a result, at the markets, I had to say, sorry, we only accept cash and e-transfers. And the poor souls that had to send me an e-transfer, I was just mortified. Some of these people they had no business sending e-transfers, but they tried and they did it successfully. But we all felt really, really awkward by it. And ultimately just being able to tap, how much that would have relieved everybody. So I say that to say, make sure that you have, whether it's you're getting like a Square terminal or a different company, or the Square reader. So let me show you quickly. Right. Super cute, and just tap, done. Yeah, that is really important. The next thing is really considering your display. Now, I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway because, again, this was my first market. It's not like it was planned months and months in advance. Literally, it was the week of that I signed up for them and planned for them. Really consider the types of products that you're selling and the best way to really show the extent of the value that the client is getting out of this product. And so, for example, I had these paper dolls, and my paper dolls were shrink wrapped, which I was excited about. I thought it maybe made it look a little bit nicer. The problem was that people could not see all the pages, all the work that I had put into these paper dolls. They couldn't see all the outfits. They couldn't see that I also made a cute little purse. So thankfully I had my iPad and I was able to skim through the pages and actually show them what was contained. But it was like a note in future, how would I do this? What's a better way to actually do this so you can actually just see all the pages? Because surprisingly, I actually sold a lot of paper dolls at these markets. Same goes for the patches. The patches, I could have actually ironed a few on shirts, on bags, so people can actually see how the item sort of works and functions, you know? Okay, so the other thing that I would say is to be selective about the markets that you choose to participate in. So having an understanding of who your client and like who your customer is can help you sort of narrow down your path and figure out what market might be appropriate versus not. And I say that to say, for example, there were a few people who passed by my stand thinking that my items were targeted towards kids. Granted, the paper dolls, yes, maybe the stickers, yes, but I think it's like also adults that like quirky things. And I think in hearing some of those comments, it made me sort of understand, oh, okay, you know what, maybe my target audience is actually aged between like, primarily anyways, between 18 and like 45. Maybe that's like my target audience ultimately. So I think actually thinking about the types of people that frequent the markets that you're interested in taking part in is important, especially since at least here in Toronto, a lot of these markets you are paying for the table. So if there is this chunk, this expense that is coming out of pocket, you sort of want to make sure that it's worth your while. So worth your while. So do the research, speak to previous vendors that have experience at those markets. What was their experience like? If you know clients or customers who have frequented these markets, get their opinions as well. Allow that information to help you make an informed decision. I've said this in other videos about practicing self-confidence, almost like a muscle. It's like an exercise. You are practicing being confident, exuding confidence, putting that out there. Whenever someone would come to my display booth, I would immediately stand up, immediately smile, because I have a lovely smile. And I would talk their ear off. I would tell them stories about the things that I made, how they came to be, however embarrassing, quirky it is. I think the story really, sort of drew them in. And ultimately, I really wanted to set this energy that made them feel welcomed, So I think this idea of confidence, having that confidence to not be afraid to speak to people when they're coming to you, they're coming to your booth, they're curious. So feed that curiosity and give them information, share your story, share how the brand came to be. All of that information is pertinent. And I don't know, I think for the people who were interested in my product, so for my demographics, they really enjoyed it. I'm not saying my stuff is for everybody, because it ain't for everybody. Clearly there was a lot of rejection as well, right? And that rejection, it hurts. But the people who got it, and it's like really, really magical when you meet the people who get it. Actually, that tied into the next point, which was about rejection, which was basically that your product is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You're not going to be able to appease everybody, and that is okay too. It's maybe more embarrassing in real life, because in real life, you have the rejection. You can see on people's faces when they're like not into the thing. They're just sort of like, oh, cute. You can see, so that makes it a little bit harder. But I think just being comfortable, being uncomfortable a little bit is fine. It's totally fine. It's okay. And I was totally like, yeah, you know what? It's cool. It's not your thing. Maybe, a few of these vendors over here might be your thing. That would be great if somebody gets a sale. And if you end up with something that you absolutely love, that's awesome. It doesn't have to be me. I think over time you'll find your audience, right? I did have my mailing lists ready. If you guys would also like to join my mailing list, I think I'll add it into the description box as well. So that way you can be apprised of any shop drops, because I think I only do things in like slightly smaller batches. Anyways, but having your mailing list, handy is super important as well. That way you start to collect information about your customers and you get to keep them apprised of things that are happening with the brand. And so while the second market was successful, the first one not so much, I did have like my mailing list page was full. So I was really excited about that. That's really affirming. People wanted to stay in the know and hear more about this brand that I'm building. It's awesome. If any of you have done markets, please share with me your comments, what your experience was like. I would love to hear. I'm all ears, because again, this was just, I went out on a whim and did this. And I do plan on doing a few next year, but being more selective about the few that I do. I think overall, this was a really, really good experience. I think I met some really amazing people that really left me with a lot of knowledge and gave me food for thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. All of that engagement is so crucial. It tells YouTube you want to hear more from me. So please do that if you haven't already done so. I will see you at the next video. Part 2, I'm going to talk about money. Okay, because I did have some expenses and I want to be transparent about those expenses. Okay, I will see you guys soon. Bye, y'all. And also, don't forget, even though I'm making these videos because I want to share with you and bring value to you, I also implore you to continue applying pressure on your local governments. Protest. Free Palestine, free Gaza. We are still in the midst of it. Don't lose steam. Don't give up hope. Don't feel defeated. We are doing this. We are fighting the revolution. The revolution is happening. So get on board.